So if you want to get value for money and you want to get a good aesthetic appearance with good protection, conduct a proper investigation, understand the conditions, fix up the walls properly, get the surface preparation done before you spend the money to apply a fresh coat of paint. Hello, I'm Anthony Lee, accredited architect, building inspector, trainer. Welcome to Architect Center channel. We provide independent reviews of buildings, materials, defects, workmanship, and recommendations to help you make informed decisions from design, construction, and maintenance. Property developers, consultants, contractors, building owners, property managers, well, in fact, anyone with a roof over their heads, we invite you to subscribe and follow us. In this episode, we will be focusing at repainting on the external walls of a stratified high-rise building, for example, condominiums, and the common property. Repainting is more than a new coat of paint, and it's never about repainting over an existing older layer. Now let's break down the reasons why you should repaint and how you should repaint it, so that you can get a few tips when you plan to carry out your own repainting works in your property. The coat of paint that either you decide to paint internally or externally has got different criteria of importance. Now, Malaysia, we are a tropical climate. It is a very harsh climate. Now, the rain, the sun will cause your external walls, especially the wall plastering, to shrink and crack. It expands and it contracts over time, especially if you live in high-rise, will degrade very quickly. So the importance of repainting is actually to preserve and protect that quality of your building facade. And over time, if you neglect that, it would cost you a lot more money to do repairs that you otherwise would have prevented if you had regularly maintained and repainted the building properly over time. This all depends also on the type of buildings that you have, but on average, if your building has been painted properly with good quality paint from the beginning, and if the walls themselves have been built properly without excessive amount of cracks and shrinkages, I would suggest that you plan to have a repainting once at least every 8 to 10 years. A common misconception about repainting is just applying a coat of paint over your existing walls. One of the most important things about repainting is actually to understand that you have to do a proper surface preparation. And this goes beyond just giving a good wash. Most buildings are built with brick and wall plastering. And wall plastering is generally installed by hand. So it's very difficult to get a good quality control. So you need to address these shortcomings as far as the base is concerned before you apply the paint. And this involves detailed investigation and understanding about the quality of your wall condition, preparing the surfaces properly, fixing the cracks, fixing all the hollowness or even water that's coming out. If you don't prepare the surfaces properly, what will happen is that your paint that you spend good money on will degrade and have a shorter lifespan. Either you are a property manager, or you are a building owner, or you are part of the JMB or MC. When you take possession of your property from the beginning, especially during the defect liability period, it's important to understand whether the building has got any signs of premature discoloration of the building. And this you can see, with white streaks, cracks and marks and dark streaks and things like that. Whether the original paint and the original wall conditions were correct to start off with. Now, this has a huge impact because when you repaint the building, you're going to have to spend a lot more money to prepare these surfaces. Now, if you don't catch it early, you will find that you will be spending a lot more money to get the surface preparation correct. However, if say you are in an older building and you want to improve the appearance of the building, that is generally quite straightforward. I think this goes back to accessibility. and also the condition. When you're repainting a building, you need to bring your workers and the materials up to that wall, 30, 40 stories up on that building. You need to have access. The cheapest access and the most safe and reliable access is to use gondolas. Some building, because of the design, original design, you have to get access using scaffoldings. And scaffoldings are very expensive and dangerous. And in some buildings, when you can't use gondola and you can't use scaffoldings, you're gonna have to use what we call by Spider-Man. These are even more expensive and more dangerous. They're basically abseilers, people with strings and with a bucket of paint, with a brush, and they have to go up and down doing this work. So this adds cost, because the base cost for repainting, the cost is the same. The additional cost between your condominium and another condominium becomes the cost of accessibility. So this has got a huge impact. And that's why it's very important that when you look into a building and when you're preparing to do repainting, it's important for you to consider these few very important points. Thank you for watching. You may contact us at architectcenter.com.my. You may subscribe and follow us at our channel.